Why debt feels impossible to escape. The truth they don't want you to know. You open your bank app and see the balance. Your heart sinks. Another month, another payment that barely touches the actual debt. You feel like you're drowning, and the water keeps rising no matter how hard you swim. Here's what nobody tells you about debt. It's designed to trap you.
Think about the last time you took out a loan or used a credit card. They made it sound simple, didn't they? Low monthly payments, affordable rates, financial freedom at your fingertips. But here's the reality. When you borrow money, you're not just borrowing the amount you need. You're signing up for a relationship where someone else controls your future. The system works like this. They give you access to money you don't have. Then they charge you for the privilege of using it. Every single day, every single hour. Even while you sleep, the debt grows. Most people focus on the monthly payment. Can I afford this amount? Yes? Great, let's sign. But the monthly payment is a distraction. It's a magic trick designed to hide the real cost. The credit card company tells you that you only need to pay a small minimum each month. Sounds reasonable, but that small payment mostly goes to interest, not to the actual debt you owe. You could pay for years and still owe almost the same amount you started with. This is not an accident. This is the design.
Your brain is working against you when it comes to debt. Here's why. When you swipe a card or click to buy something on credit, it doesn't feel like real money leaving your pocket. There's no physical pain, no cash leaving your wallet. Just a quick tap or click and the item is yours. This psychological distance makes spending feel painless. Your brain treats borrowed money differently than money you actually have. It feels abstract, almost like it's not real yet. Then the bill comes. Reality hits. But by then, you've already spent the money, enjoyed the purchase, and moved on. The pain comes later, separated from the pleasure. This delay breaks the natural feedback loop that would normally stop you from overspending. Credit companies know this. They've studied human behavior for decades. They understand that people will borrow more when the pain is delayed and abstract. But there's another psychological trap even more dangerous. It's called the debt spiral mindset. Once you're in debt, your brain starts making desperate decisions. You take out another loan to pay off the first one. You use one credit card to pay another. You tell yourself it's just temporary, just until things get better. But things rarely get better on their own. Each new debt adds weight. Each new payment adds pressure. And suddenly, you're not managing debt anymore. The debt is managing you. Let's talk about what really happens behind the scenes. When you miss a payment or pay late, the penalties are severe. Late fees, increased interest rates, damage to your credit score. One mistake can cost you for years. But when you make payments on time, there's no reward, no bonus, no reduced interest. You simply avoid punishment. The system is built to penalize failure, but never to reward success. Your credit score is another control mechanism. It's a number that follows you everywhere, affecting your ability to rent an apartment, get a job, or buy a car. And debt is both the cause of a low score and the supposed solution to raise it. They tell you that you need to borrow money and pay it back to prove you're trustworthy. But this means staying in debt to prove you can handle debt. It's circular logic designed to keep you trapped in the system. The interest rates are another hidden weapon. When rates are low, people borrow more, thinking it's a good deal. When rates rise, people who already borrowed suddenly can't afford their payments. Either way, the system wins. And here's something most people never realize. Inflation works against you when you're in debt in a specific way. Your debt payment stays the same, but everything else gets more expensive. Food, rent, gas, utilities. So even if your income stays steady, you have less money left over to pay down debt. The debt doesn't shrink, your ability to pay it does. Debt becomes truly inescapable when life happens. You get sick, your car breaks down, you lose your job, someone in your family needs help. These aren't luxuries or bad decisions. These are emergencies. But when you're already in debt, you have no cushion, no savings, no backup plan. So what do? You borrow more. This is where the trap closes completely. You go into debt to survive the emergency, then you're paying for that emergency for years afterward, and the next emergency will come before you've paid off the last one. The system counts on this. Lenders know that life is unpredictable. They know emergencies will happen. They're waiting for them, because that's when people become desperate and accept any terms, any interest rate, any payment plan. Payday loans are the most obvious example. Someone needs money immediately to keep the lights on or put food on the table. They borrow a small amount with the promise to pay it back on payday, but the fees are massive. When payday comes, they can't afford to pay it back and still cover their other expenses, so they roll it over, taking out a new loan to pay the old one. The fees compound. A small emergency loan becomes a debt that's impossible to escape. This isn't just about payday loans. Buy now, pay later services work the same way. Store credit cards with special financing, medical payment plans, they all rely on the same principle. Catch people when they're vulnerable and lock them into a cycle of payments. The cruelest part is that the people who can least afford debt are charged the most for it. If you're poor, your interest rates are higher, your fees are bigger, your penalties are harsher. The system is designed to extract the most from those who have the least. Debt isn't just a financial problem. It's an emotional prison. You wake up thinking about it, you go to bed worrying about it. Every expense, every purchase, every plan for the future is filtered through the question, can I afford this with my debt payments? Relationships suffer. Marriages break under the stress. You avoid seeing friends because you can't afford to go out. You make excuses. You isolate yourself. The shame is overwhelming. You feel like a failure, like you made bad choices, like you're the only one struggling. But you're not alone. Millions of people are trapped in the same cycle, feeling the same shame, hiding the same secret. This shame keeps people from asking for help, from talking about the problem, from finding solutions, and the silence is exactly what the system needs to survive. Debt also steals your dreams. You wanted to start a business, go back to school, travel, buy a home, build something meaningful. But debt keeps you locked in place, working to pay off the past instead of investing in the future. You're not living your life, you're servicing someone else's profit. The mental health impact is real and documented. Anxiety, depression, sleep problems, physical health issues caused by stress. Debt makes people sick, and being sick creates more debt, another vicious cycle. Some people describe it as carrying a weight they can never put down. Others say it's like being underwater, always struggling to breathe. The metaphors change, but the feeling is the same: trapped.
When people realize they're trapped, they look for escape routes, and that's when the false solutions appear. Debt consolidation sounds appealing. Combine all your debts into one payment, lower interest rate, simpler management. But often, you just restart the clock. You extend the payment period, which means paying more over time. Pay it off interest-free. But there's a catch: transfer fees, time limits, and the temptation to use your old cards again now that they're empty. Debt settlement companies claim they can negotiate with your creditors to reduce what you owe. Some are legitimate, many are not. They charge fees upfront, tell you to stop paying your debts, and promise to fix everything. Your credit gets destroyed while they negotiate, and often the result is worse than where you started. Bankruptcy seems like the ultimate escape. Wipe the slate clean and start over. But bankruptcy comes with consequences that last for years. It's not erasure, it's a different kind of scar. These solutions aren't necessarily wrong. For some people, in some situations, they work. But they're not magic. They don't address the root cause. They're tools, and tools only work if you understand what you're building. The real problem is that most people are looking for a way out that doesn't require change. They want the debt to disappear without changing the behaviors that created it. They want relief without responsibility. But here's the hard truth. You can't borrow your way out of a borrowing problem. You can't use debt to escape debt. The only real solution requires doing something different.
Escaping debt isn't impossible, but it's not easy either. It requires facing uncomfortable truths. First, you have to stop pretending. Stop minimizing. Stop telling yourself it's not that bad or that it'll work itself out. Look at the full picture. Add up everything you owe. See the real numbers. Face the reality of where you are. This moment is painful, but it's also necessary. You can't fix a problem you won't acknowledge. Second, you have to stop the bleeding. No new debt. None. Not for emergencies, not for good deals, not for just this once. Every new debt makes escape harder. You have to draw a line and commit to staying on one side of it. This is where most people fail. Life throws emergencies at you, and saying no to new debt feels impossible. But there are always alternatives. They're not comfortable, they're not easy, but they exist. Sell something, take a side job, ask for help, find a way that doesn't involve borrowing. Third, you need a plan based on math, not hope. List your debts from smallest to largest. Attack the smallest one with everything you have while making minimum payments on the rest. When it's gone, move to the next one. This method works not because of mathematics, but because of psychology. Each paid-off debt is a victory that builds momentum. Or tackle the highest interest debt first if you're driven by logic rather than emotion. Either way, you need a system and you need to stick to it. Fourth, you need to increase the gap between what you earn and what you spend. This means earning more, spending less, or both. There's no way around it. Debt disappears when you have money left over to pay it down, and that only happens when you're spending less than you make. This is the part nobody wants to hear. Cut expenses. Live below your means. Sacrifice now for freedom later. It's not glamorous, it's not fun, but it works. Finally, you need to change your relationship with money. Debt is a symptom, not the disease. The disease is living beyond your means, treating future money as current money, and believing that you deserve things you can't afford right now. This mindset shift is the hardest part. It means delayed gratification. It means saying no to yourself. It means accepting that discipline, not indulgence, is the path to real freedom.
Here's what you need to understand. The entire economy depends on people staying in debt. Banks profit from your interest payments. Credit card companies thrive on people who carry balances. Retailers push financing because it makes people spend more. The whole system is engineered to keep you borrowing. They call it the credit economy, but it's really a debt economy. And it only works if people stay trapped. Financial literacy isn't taught in schools for a reason. If everyone understood how debt really works, how interest compounds, how minimum payments trap you, fewer people would fall for it. The system relies on ignorance. The marketing makes debt look like empowerment. Live your best life now. You deserve it. Don't wait. These messages are designed to override your logic and trigger your emotions. But empowerment doesn't come from debt. Freedom doesn't come from borrowing. Real power is having no payments, no creditors, no one who owns your future income. The system will fight you every step of the way out. They'll offer you new cards, better terms, special deals. They'll make it easy to slip back in and hard to stay out. This is intentional. Your escape is their loss. They don't want you free. They want you paying.
Debt feels impossible to escape because it's designed that way. Every mechanism, every rule, every psychological trick is built to keep you trapped and paying. But impossible and difficult are not the same thing. People escape debt every day. It requires brutal honesty, unwavering commitment, and the willingness to do hard things. It means living differently than the culture around you. It means saying no when everyone else says yes. The path out exists. It's narrow, it's steep, and it's longer than you want it to be. But it's there. The question is whether you're willing to walk it. Stop believing the lie that debt is normal. Stop accepting that monthly payments are just part of life. Stop letting other people profit from your struggle. You can be free, but freedom requires a choice, and that choice starts now. If this resonated with you, if you're tired of being trapped, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video if you're committed to breaking free. The death system wins when people stay silent and isolated. We win when we share the truth and support each other. Your freedom is possible. Start today.